Hi, good afternoon from London, England. Is it good morning or is it good evening? It sure is good afternoon from London, England, and a pleasant but nice weather today. And I wish I'd gone to the park to have a walk. It's lovely, but the main thing is I'm here to do a roundup of all this weekend's Premier League action, including Monday's late drama from the Amex Stadium between Brighton Hove Albion and Crystal Palace. I don't know if I can call it the Alan Mullery derby. But anyway, plenty of talking points, good goals, disallowed goals, VAR yet again, part of it, the controversial of it. Referees who've never kicked a ball in their lives. Yeah, behind the VAR. Some talking points, and maybe one or two excuses. Well, let's start off with Friday's game. Wolves v Leeds United. Now, it was a game where, for me, Wolves were dominant, but they were lacking an end product in that first half. Leeds, on the other hand, they gave as good as they got. I thought Leeds were, they were all right in the first half, and Wolves, I thought Wolves and Leeds both gave as good as they got in that first half. And in the second half, as soon as Traore came on, he scored, a lucky goal in some senses. But again, he hit it, he cut inside the defender, hit an unbelievable shot on his right foot. The powerful juggernaut winger called Traore. He's booted it onto the bar. Musley, there's nothing he could do. The ball bounced off the bar, hit the keeper, ricocheted into the back of the net. That's completely unfortunate. And Patrick Bamford, he looks like he had a goal disallowed controversially. And if you look at the line, for pig's sakes, there's nothing much between them. I mean, Leeds United fans, what's your reaction about Bamford's disallowed goal? Leave your comments, leave your views and your opinions in my comment section below. Wolves fans, I'll tell you, Wolves fan, be honest. If that ball did not bounce off the goalkeeper, would you have won? Be honest. Anyway, it finished Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Leeds United 0. Moving on to Saturday's games, there's 4 of them. The one I watched was the lunchtime kickoff between Southampton and Chelsea. And I tell you what, Chelsea were dominant from the start to the finish. And I tell you what, especially in that first half, Marcos Alonso, for me, he should be scoring with that sweet left foot he's got. He should be scoring that. The volley that he had on the left-hand side when the ball gets crossed into him. He should be, from Reece James, by the way, who made that crossfield pass to him, and he hit it well on the volley, but he shinned it a little bit, which went off target, about at least 2 foot off target, 2 big feet off target. He should have had that rippling into the back of the net, bulging gloriously, but never to be. Southampton were not in the game. They were nowhere near Chelsea, and a bit of improvisation between Redmond and Ward-Prowse on the 1-2 halfway line. Redmond plays a through ball to Mina, and he mugs. I'll tell you what, 1-on-1, you think he's going to go for goal straight away, but no, the keeper's closed it down, and then Azpilicueta's coming in, he's mugged him right off. And the finish outside of his foot, terrific. 1-0 Southampton at half-time against the run of play. Chelsea deserved not to be 1-0 down at half-time, but that was the reality of it. Football's not about that. If it was made like that, it would be fixed. Simple as. However, Chelsea were the dominant in that first half, but, they weren't efficient enough. I think Thomas Tuchel mentioned it in his post-match interview. Second half, early second half, Mason Mount goes down to a clumsy tackle by the defender, penalty. He gets up, takes a penalty for the first time in his career, and he done pretty well. Send the goalkeeper the wrong way, on target 1-1. And Chelsea looked like they were in complete control. And then at the other end, Vestergaard nearly nicks it with a looping header. And it would have been possibly undeserved. Some will say deserved. But one thing I will say for sure, it was unlucky, and Danny Ings hit the rebound wide. So it finished Southampton 1, Chelsea 1. Burnley v West Brom. Now, I'll tell you what. Mike Dean, centre of attention again. Was it a red card? I think by the letter of the law, he had to go. But then again, I don't know what the letter of the law is. I don't know if it was an accidental handball or not. Sammy Ajay adjudged to handball. And I'll tell you what, him getting sent off, it inspired West Brom, because the number of chances they created, they were the better team in that whole game. You know, they grew into the game and they grew the better team. And I'll tell you what, I think Burnley prefer to play against 11 men, meaning West Brom. And I'll tell you, on another day, Maitland-Niles had an opportunity. Their striker had an opportunity where he cuts inside and shoots when he should have possibly squid it to Maitland-Niles, tapping. And then Maitland-Niles does superbly well through the midfield, running through the midfield, should I say, laying it off to the striker. And the attacker places it on the plate. And I think, to be fair to his colleague, I think Pereira, it was behind him, and he couldn't really adjust himself to get the winning goal. But West Brom should have won that game for me, even with 10 men. Burnley were not at the races. If the truth has to be properly told, they were poor. They were poor against 10 men, and at home, and that's what makes it embarrassing for me. So it finished Burnley 0, West Bromwich Albion 0. Liverpool v Everton, the Merseyside derby. I enjoyed that game. Well, did I enjoy that game from neutral? Well, it was it wasn't exactly one-sided. The scoreline suggested otherwise. Well, the scoreline doesn't reflect the whole game. I think Liverpool were Liverpool were on top after they conceded the goal in the first 2-3 minutes. And I'll tell you what, Everton started off it. I'll say Everton had to start off a bit brighter, very sharp. James Rodriguez receives the ball, a looping pass, controls it superbly well. First touch, finds Richarlison, his fellow South American. He races on past the defender, hits a low shot at the back stick, and my word, past Alisson, 1-0. And I'll tell you, Michael Keane and the defence, especially Michael Keane in that back three, he was immense. A colossus, he was an immense colossus at the back all game. And I think Liverpool had one shot on target through Henderson, and it was a blinding good save. And speaking of good saves, Liverpool were on top in that second half, and Pickford had to produce another fine save, made himself big. Salah was through on goal, but he just couldn't get through Pickford. And then the moment of truth, where as soon as Dominic Calvert-Lewin comes on, him and Richarlison were on Liverpool's defenders. And I'll tell you what, it was a good tactical decision by Carlo Ancelotti to have Dominic Calvert-Lewin alongside Richarlison, because for the bulk of that game, Richarlison was isolated, and then brings on his strike partner, and before you know it, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's had a race on for a through ball from his partner, Richarlison. He takes a shot. Alexander slids in. It looks like he clipped him by accident, but Liverpool, Everton fans, leave your reaction and your opinions in my comment section below, especially Everton fans. You know, you won 2-0. Your first league victory at Anfield for 22 years. You definitely should leave me some comments, man. Leave me some love as well, man. While I say love, smash the like button, Share amongst your loved ones and your friends. Yeah, as I've already said, fill the comment section with your views and your opinion. And do subscribe to myself and I only, DLG Reppin. After this video, I hope I get at least more than 2 subscribers. Please, please. Right, yeah. The penalty. Well, it was a penalty because if you look at it, it wasn't the fact that Dominic Calvert-Lewin's left knee accidentally hits Trent Alexander at the back of the head. It's the fact that Trent Alexander's right foot stays up and officially trips Dominic Calvert-Lewin to the ground. And I think the referee had a quick look, but I don't think he had a proper look at it, but he just awarded the penalty. I don't think the referee couldn't wait to award the penalty, but award the penalty he did. And Sigurdsson took it well, and that was the final nail in the coffin for Liverpool. And it's 4 league defeats in a row since nearly 100 years at Anfield. Wow. How the mighty have fallen, so they say. Liverpool fans, am I being too harsh? Or am I just saying it how it is? Or am I saying what you're thinking? Leave it in the comment section below. Or am I being too harsh? Your reaction. Everton fans, I've got to get a reaction out of you boys. And tell us how you feel after winning at Anfield with a game in hand against your dearest enemies, bitter enemies you would call them, or your rivals. So it finished Liverpool 0, Everton 2. Fulham v Sheffield United. Now, I'll tell you what, it was a game that both teams needed to win, and both teams set out to attack to win. And you could see in stages in the first half, both teams had the opportunities. Fulham through Loftus-Cheek with that dazzling run. It was unlucky not to score. Sheffield United had opportunities of their own, and then no, it was in the second half. Sorry, Loftus-Cheek had that dazzling run. I think it was the first half where Fulham had their opportunities. Aurelio, I think he had to pull off a couple of good saves. I think one good save in particular where he collided with the Sheffield United player and he came out worse while holding his shin. Ouch. I've been kicked in the shin before playing football and it's not nice. Very painful. You have to breathe out on the effort. Yeah. And then in the second half, as Sheffield United found their feet, a moment of brilliance from Fulham. And Fulham did deserve the goal. And it was a moment of brilliance from Ademola Lookman. And Sheffield United did have the ball in the back of the net, but it was deemed as offside. But it was controversial. And like Chris Wilder said, if you're giving VAR, he said, what's the point of VAR if you're giving decisions like that? And I quite frankly agree with him. I do so agree with him. Sheffield United fans, is your manager right to come out and have a go at the officials and the VA and the video assistant referees and the official in Stockley Park? Fulham fans, you're only 3 points behind the bottom 4. Can you survive? Leave it in the comment section below. I'll love your reaction, your response, and your opinions in my comment section below. And like I say, like, share, and please subscribe to DLG Reppin. Thank you very much. That's myself and I only. So at the end of that game, it finished Fulham 1, Sheffield United 0. Sunday's game, first game of the day, lunchtime kickoff between West Ham and Tottenham Hotspur. You could see West Ham were up for it for the first 10 minutes, and rightfully so, in their performance and the way they defended and how organised they were at the back. You could see it in the first 10 minutes. And from an offensive point of view, they deserved to go ahead. They contributed a lot more than Tottenham in that first 10 minutes. Antonio getting on the score sheet, and someone highlighted the first goal where Lucas Moura was sleeping. He was meant to be marking a particular West Ham player. I think it was Antonio, but he went to sleep. So it's like Dyer was meant to be at fault for the goal, or someone else was meant to be at fault for the goal. But the person who was really at fault for the goal was Lucas Moura. When highlighted, he was exposed for his lack of defensive awareness, and he's the wrong side of his opponent. So Lucas Moura, take responsibility, because your team went 1-0 down inside 10 minutes because of you. You know, why should Dyer get the blame? Because he's a centre-half. Nonsense. Why should another defender get a blame? Or meaning Davison Sanchez, because he's a centre-half? Nonsense. Tottenham fans, am I being overcritical on Lucas Moura? Because I think, who was it who done Match of the Day 2? It was either Shearer, I think it was Shearer and Dublin. No, Dublin. I think Dion Dublin was the one who highlighted Lucas Moura's positioning, how it was wrong, and B, it looked like he was sleeping in my eyes. He was asleep. 1-0 West Ham. They put in a dogged performance. Unlucky not to go 2-0 up at least, with Michael Dawson. Craig Dawson, sorry. With a thumping header straight at Lloris, tipped over for another corner. And it just summed up West Ham's brilliant performance in that first half. Second half, Tottenham dominated completely. They dominated the whole of that second half completely. I think they were dominant. And Harry Kane, in the first half, I forgot to mention, he slightest effort, but he had another effort on target. And Fabianski made that save and another save as well. And I'll tell you something, Tottenham were in some senses, they were unlucky not to get the equaliser. Bell hitting a worldie of a strike, clipping the bar, and I can still hear the bar clipping as I talk about it, because I can still vision it in my head. And then the other one where Soufal cleared it on Heung-min Son. The ball looped off Heung-min Son onto the post. Fabianski, well beaten, but saved by the post. But overall, West Ham did enough. I mean, Declan Rice, he was close to getting man of the match. I mean, he put in a superb last-ditch tackle to prevent Tottenham getting an equaliser. And it just sums up how Tottenham were so dominant in that second half. But West Ham held on, defended as well as they did, very disciplined and organised as well as they could have been. And they got the 3 points, and they're in the top 4. Wow, that is such progress compared to where West Ham were last season. Look at where they are now. They've become a proper good football team. You know, organised, and they've got offensive players who can put the ball in the back of the net. Jesse Lingard's been a revelation, and I'm sorry, West Ham, I'm sorry, West Ham supporters, if I've not spoken about Jesse Lingard, because he played his part in the game. His performance was telling, and the goal summed it up. And yet VAR tried to disallow that goal. It was a legitimate goal. Thank goodness Pablo Fornells did not get onto it. Thank goodness. I'd rather Jesse Lingard have pushed him out the way and then score that brilliant goal, because it was a brilliant strike on the left foot, and he deserved to be 2-0 up. Although Tottenham pulled one back with Gareth Bale's assist from a corner to Lucas Moura, who didn't do much in that game for me other than score the goal, and allowed Mikel Antonio to launch onto a tap-in. So all in all, another defeat for Tottenham, 5 in the last 6, where West Ham keep going from strength to strength. And David Moyes is getting a tune out of these players, you know. And for me, that dressing room, he's won it over completely. The players are giving him the respect that he has. He hasn't won anything as a manager, but I'll tell you what, the project that he's got going for him at West Ham, tell you what, there are big things to come at the Bowland. So it finished West Ham United 2, Spurs Spuds 1. Anyway, moving on. Aston Villa v Leicester City. Looking at the highlights for me, I think Martinez was the busier of the two goalkeepers. He made some blinding saves, and there was one moment where James Maddison's goal was a good strike, but I felt Martinez could have got a stronger left hand. And I've seen Martinez make better. I've seen Martinez get onto the end of situations with strong hands, and he could have got a stronger left hand there. But nevertheless, take nothing away from Leicester and Maddison. It was a good goal. Thought Leicester were the dominant team in that first half, and throughout the game, I thought they were worthy of their 3 points. Aston Villa, not at the races for me. Poor one half and poor second, and that's what Dean Smith has summed it up as. That's how he described it. And looking at the whole game in general, I thought Leicester were dominant. The first half, they deserved to be 2-0 up, I think. A good goal by the second goal came with Martinez making the save, but it pounced onto inform. Oh my God, how have I forgotten his name? The winger who's in the England squad. Oh, Ashley Barnes, and he was never going to miss from where he was. 2-0. Villa pulled one goal back in the second half. Bartra with a nice finish, but it was too little, too late. And what was Peter Schmeichel doing on his leg? You know, he just needed to get out of the way and allow the striker to stand up, meaning Bartra Traore. How silly and petulant by Peter Schmeichel. Not Peter Schmeichel, Kasper Schmeichel. Peter's his dad, and his dad would be embarrassed by seeing his action of his own son. Truth. So it finished Aston Villa 1, Leicester City 2. And that took Leicester to second momentarily. Arsenal v Man City. Now, the first minute and 30 seconds, we were awful, and Man City took the lead. And the goal, I am going to blame Kieran Tierney more. As an Arsenal fan, I am blaming Kieran Tierney more. You know, I hold him responsible, and I'll tell you why I'm giving him constructive criticism. He's one-on-one with Mahrez. No overlapper, nobody. It's just you and him. You need to show him down the line. And for me, if he shows him down the line, he can match Mahrez for speed. Because Kieran Tierney has got unbelievable speed when he gets going. And what he done there, he's made it completely difficult for himself. You know, by allowing Mahrez to go strong on his left foot, whipping the cross, and that allows 5'5" Sterling to score the winning header at the back post. How has that been allowed anyway? Yes, maybe Bellerin can go inside and affect that situation. He's got to go inside, affect the situation, you know. Rough him up a little bit, you know, put himself about. But I don't blame Bellerin as much as I blame Tierney. Tierney's got to show him down the line. That cross should not have happened. That should never have happened. But yet it did, because he didn't show him down the line. If he showed him down the line and Mahrez takes him on for pace, then Tierney will match him and put the tackle in, hopefully, or just to stop the cross. Other than that, in that first half, we were so scared to attack Man City. Man City had opportunities to score 3 goals, and they should have been 3 goals up in the first half. I don't know what... Oh, I'm not going to go into the AFTV watch-along. I don't want to bring anyone's name up, but for me, you know, DT said it, and he said it right. Shout out to yourself, DT. We should have been 3 goals up. We were poor. Second half, we came out in much improved. 1 shot on target in that whole game. And it came from the guy who allowed the cross to go in by Mahrez. And that was Kieran Tierney. He had a long-range 25-yarder straight at the goalkeeper. But I'll tell you what, it was a good strike. Shame it was straight at Ederson's throat. We came out in the second half and we looked more dominant, you know. But we just couldn't find the end product, and that is a surprise. And you look at what Martin Keown did. He highlighted Arsenal players not getting into the pocket spaces, not making movements, just statuesque. And Kieran Tierney, who was highlighted, had to pass the ball backwards 20 yards back to his centre-half colleague. Shambles. Complete shambles written all over it again. Nevertheless, Man City held on. Man City were pretty comfortable with the lead, and it finished Arsenal 0, Man City 1. Moving on to the next game, Manchester United v Newcastle. Now, in the first half, I thought Newcastle were the better team and more dominant. And if you look at the game overall, I think Newcastle deserved the lead. No, they deserved to. They deserved to go into the interval at 1-1. Maybe deserve a little bit more. Man United were not particularly at the races at the first. I thought they started a bit slowly, but they grew into the game. And they did take the lead, maybe against the run of play. Rashford scoring a brilliant goal. And then St. Maximin finishing brilliantly at the other end. And it finished. It ended 1-1 at half time. In the second half, Man United came out the better team, and Daniel James got his reward with a goal. And then, it was only one winner. Man United dominant. And what was Joe Willock thinking? What on earth was he thinking going in like that on Rashford? It was only going to be one outcome, and that was a penalty. No VAR needed. And when you could see the stupid penalty like he does, yeah, that's the sort of thing I would expect him to do in an Arsenal shirt. That's because that's Joe Willock. But I'm not going to give him too much criticism, because I think there is a player in him, hence the reason why he's out on loan at Newcastle. But he gave away a stupid penalty. And the king of penalties in the Premier League is Fernandes. And Bruno isn't going to miss from 12 yards. He's never going to miss a target from 12 yards. And he knew the way he takes his penalties, they're going in 9 times out of 10. And that was the end result. So it finished Manchester United 3, Newcastle 0. The other game, Brighton Hove Albion and Crystal Palace, it was so one-sided. Brighton had a number of opportunities. Again, they did not have a number 9. As far as I'm concerned with Neil Maupay, he's a half a striker. You bring on Danny Welbeck, that's another half a striker. Together, they're a whole striker. And for me, Brighton went 1-0 down at half time against the run of play. But Mateta, double nutmeg, and what a finish. Cheeky finish, but it produced a double nutmeg on the defender and the keeper. And despite Brighton's dominance with 25 odd shots on target and how many on goal and how many on target, but Palace were 1-0 up half time. And then in the second half, Brighton got their reward with a goal from, I think, McAllister? No, Veltman. Sorry, my bad. Veltman got the equaliser, and rightfully so. It was a good, I thought, I didn't get to see the goal, I missed it, but it was well deserved. And then at the business end of the game, stoppage time, Benteke gets a fine strike that's worthy of winning any game in the world of football. And what a strike it was. And Palace were poor, appalling. Palace fans, am I being harsh, or do you share my point of view? Brighton fans, feel free to come into my comment section on my channel and leave your reaction and your opinions in my comment section and your views, and tell us how harsh that was. I think if Brighton had a striker, I dare I say it, I think Palace are finished in that game. Completely finished. And that's where Brighton have gone wrong. They have not got a number 9 striker, and that's something that they need to address in the summer. So it finished then Brighton Hove Albion 1, Crystal Palace 1. Brighton Hove Albion 1, Crystal Palace 2. I beg your pardon. So ladies to the gentlemen, to the boys, to the girls, this is me. I'm done here, and I'm going to end it here with all the reviews done of your teams. If you've got a question, leave it in the comments section below. Smash the thumbs up like button, and let's avoid the thumbs downs if possible. Smash the share button for me. Please do share it amongst your friends and family. And could you please subscribe to my channel? That's myself and I only. DLG Reppin. That's Delhi, London Guna. Reppin spelt Romeo, Echo, Papa, Indigo, November. I'm out of here yet again. So I'll say peace again, love again, and bless again. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, to the boys, to the girls, for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in and always putting up with me as you do. I'll be back hopefully this evening with another fresh football content and keeping it 100. Otherwise, if you're having a good day, keep doing so. Stay safe and be nice.